Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
The brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice to take care of this country. It is TexAgs Live. He's Olin. I am David. And today is the Memorial Day edition of the program, which means Selection Monday for the baseball team. OB, we know what they're hosting.
Yeah.
We know that. Friday wasn't good.
No, that's a nice way to put it, huh?
Friday sucked.
This might be unfair, but they looked almost disinterested. And I'm sure that's not the case, but that's the way it looked. I know Auburn's good, but to shut them out.
It was the first time since April of 25. So now it's in the hands of the committee. Brauninger has spoken what he thinks is going to happen, or based on what he's heard from D1. I think the latest one I saw last night was A&M, a 10 seed.
Okay.
Florida getting an 8 seed, which I understand metrics. I understand this. I understand that. I'm with you. I'm not a baseball guy. I'm a competitor, right? Mentally, maybe not physically, but mentally. And I just feel like if most things are equal, and in this case, I wouldn't say most things are equal. I understand the strength of schedule. I understand DPI, RPI, MMI, AT&T. I get it, right? Verizon. I understand all of that. But A&M beat that team.
Yep.
A&M won a huge series to end the season. A&M has some huge series wins. You know.
Well, I was just looking at
the
projections, right?
Yeah.
And I think I counted 5 SEC teams in the top 8. I think I've counted it. Maybe I did. Maybe all right. There's Georgia 1, Auburn 2, Texas 3, Alabama 4, and Florida 5.
Yep.
All right. A&M finished 3rd in a conference, and then there's Mississippi State up there at 16. So A&M finished 3rd in a conference with 6 teams, 6 that are going to be hosting, and 5 in the top 8.
Yep.
Right? And they won series over Florida at number 8 and Texas at number 6. And in my mind, like I've said before, if the question is Florida or A&M, they played.
Yep.
All those metrics right there tells me A&M should be a top 8 seed. But you really did look pretty poor in that game against Auburn. And the fact is, in all sports, it's been proven over and over, A&M just cannot relax and put anything in the hands of a committee.
But for conversation's sake, and I'm sure Bronny and Zane can pipe in on this, would you rather be a 10 seed going to Alabama or a 9 seed or an 8 seed? I think I'd rather be an 8 seed and home, right, in a super regional situation if you were to get out of the regional, taking on Florida. If you were the 9 seed, I mean, I'd much rather be the 8 seed at home versus anybody, personally.
Yeah, to be honest, once you get past the 8 seed, I don't care.
You got to win.
Yeah.
You got to be a really good team.
Right. So, so 8, 9, 10, or 9, 10, 11, I don't care. I mean, I know 16 is not even an option, right? But, once, to me, it's all the 8 seed, and after that, I really don't care. See how you do.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I always say this, but I'm going to say it again. Let's evaluate when it's all said and done, complete evaluation I understand micro evaluations, right? The most recent evaluation we have is poor from what we saw from Texas A&M baseball. Over the life of the season, I think that they are certainly worthy of a top 10 seed. I think worthy of a top 8 seed. I understand what's holding them back. I also know the team we've been watching recently, I don't think it's the team we're going to see this upcoming weekend.
We say recently, and we're talking about one game because before that, they won a series over a very good Mississippi State team, which again, in their projections, they're 6 seed, so they're hosting. So it's not a
sure, but if you look at the last 3 series, they lost 2, they won the last one, and then they lost to Auburn. So people think about the body of work the last couple weeks of the season. I can understand a negative opinion of the direction that the season's going, not of the program the season's going. But I also do think we'll get a different team, a healthier team at Bluebell this weekend.
Well, that's another thing. I wonder if the committee, all right, remember the football committee, the way they screwed over Florida State because they said, well, you got a big injury, and that injury makes a difference. Well, I wonder if the baseball committee isn't and I'm sure they are aware, wait a minute, A&M's had some significant injuries and are expecting to have guys back. Do I think that'll happen? No. But, you can make that argument.
Aiden Sims. I think he makes a difference, OB.
He does. Okay. He makes a big difference.
Your best starting pitcher. Okay. Nico Partita, I think he makes a difference.
Huge difference because there's a lot of dominoes that fall when he's out.
Right.
Because now Grahovic's moving to first, and they got to do things. Yeah.
Chris Hakopian, how healthy is he going to be? I mean, he's been hitting, right? I mean, he's been, but does he move off of DH? Does he? That has some domino effects. Does Jorian Wilson break out at home from a little bit of a slump? Right, what do they do at other positions? Right, there's a lot of things that you can look at that, to me, would say, all right, they've been playing injured, and here they are. They're still a top 10 seed, hopefully. Hopefully they're number 8. And just a healthier version of them playing at home, what does that do for this lineup? And then go on the road wherever you go if you are able to advance from the regional and go somewhere else. Again, this is all based on projections that we'll find out here at 11 a.m. the reality of the situation.
Yeah. I know Richard told me that he thought that they would be a 10 seed, and Richard obviously knows a whole lot about it.
Yeah.
So I will bank on Richard being right. And I think you said Bronny said the same.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Bronny's basing it on, I think, and I'm sure he's talked to people as well, but D1 baseball is pretty plugged in when it comes to this stuff. I don't know how accurate they are. Cade might be a better one the day before. I'm sure they're hitting A's, though, when it comes to the day before, because they're probably talking to the right people.
I just believe in a court of law, I could argue A&M's case and get a top 8 seed.
Yeah.
Because all the metrics still tell me that should be an 8 seed. But it's not a court of law. It's a NCAA committee. And again, we know how we know about all the favors committee has done to Aggies.
I see a brilliant television show in the works, Judge Judy, and then you have these advocates, these lawyers for all these programs, and you go to a court of law, and then they rule, boom, A&M, top 8 seed.
Yeah. I mean, it would be just the same thing. I mean, if we're talking about A&M versus Florida, it'd be the same thing that happened with Miami and Notre Dame in football.
Yeah.
Who won the freaking game?
Yeah. Now, Florida is playing great.
They
right?
are.
If I'm a FloridaGator.com guy or whatever they are, I am definitely advocating. Look.
Didn't they get beat pretty significantly in their last game, though?
I thought they lost in extra innings or close to extra innings.
Was it extra innings?
2 or 5-2 or something, blew it
against
Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Georgia beat them by a couple runs, I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, now, look, I'm not trying to crack on Florida. Quite frankly, if Florida wasn't an 8 seed, they should be a 9. They are playing really good baseball. But the fact of the matter is, and I'll say it again,
yep,
A&M beat them in a series head-to-head on their own field, and A&M finished higher than them in the SEC standings, without a doubt, the strongest conference in the country. You're number 3. You're third in the strongest conference in the country. You can't argue against that. It's just the fact.
8-7 was the final of that game.
Okay, yeah, so they didn't beat them. But how many one-run games has A&M lost? we talked about how they lost all those series. I mean, you can't. I'm not going to penalize Florida at all because that was a good game. They lost 8-7.
Yep.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, A&M in that Game 3 series to Auburn, they lost by 1 run. And maybe, I know they lost a Game 3 to Oklahoma series on the road by 1 run. And it seems like, what was the other series they lost besides Auburn? Ole Miss?
Yeah, Ole Miss.
Was that a 1-run game in the third game?
I don't remember, but I know in a couple of these series, they got the doors blown off in one game, and then they came back and took care of business.
Yeah, in the first game, that often happened because, quite frankly, and it worked for them, but quite frankly, Coach Earley went with his most erratic pitchers in the first game. Yes, sir. Did you have that information? You look like you did.
The Ole Miss scores? Yeah. They lost Game 1 by 2 and Game 3 by 1.
Yes, that's. Anyway, just going to say, if someone looked at, hey, look at Florida. Yeah, they only lost by 1 run in that, so I can't penalize them for that, and they shouldn't. But just making the point. Well, when we talk about the series that A&M lost. Well, if losing by 1 run doesn't penalize you.
Partner, we had different types of weekends.
Yes, we did. Tell me about your great weekend.
Well, my weekend was great. We got to celebrate the twins' graduation on Friday.
Congratulations, boys.
It was fantastic. Very proud of those young men, but I know you had a rough weekend yourself.
Yeah, we had to put down Buck. Great dog, 11 years. It was hard.
Yeah, man. We're praying for you and your family. I know that Buck was family. And
like another child.
Always greeted whoever came to the house, looked intimidating, sweet as can be.
Yeah. I know this. For 11 years, we never had to worry about the UPS or FedEx drivers sneaking up on us. Because we knew that they were out there.
Yeah. Well, I'm praying for you, buddy.
Thank you.
This is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is the Go Hour, presented by who?
By David Gardner's. Oh, the Go Hour. Yeah, you threw me a curveball.
I did a bunch. Yeah, I wanted you to give you a second
to compare. CC
yeah.
Creations.
Yeah, and this. Okay, we already said that. We're sitting somewhere though.
This is the Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
Actually, it's the warm zone today. Let's be honest. It is a little warm here. There's no air conditioning blowing. It is the day off for it's a holiday. So I think whoever we have a guy that we pay to push the button for the temperature.
Yeah.
His name is Joey. Joey's not working today, so it's hot.
It is
you don't
hot,
feel it?
But
or?
No, I feel fine.
I feel like I'm sweating my what off.
But, again, the cool zone's about how cool it is to make money and keep money.
Keep that money. Make that money, man. We go around the room. Actually, before we go around the room, should we tell people who they should call or text?
Well, you know what? If you want to be a part of the show, we'd appreciate it if you did. You can call us on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline.
Yeah, that number is 979-693. I forgot the last 4 digits.
1150.
Thank you. If you want to text that number, though, we changed the name of it. That name is what?
That's the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line.
Same number, I think, right?
Yeah. 693
1150.
11. Well, and then there. Yes.
There's a 979.
979-693-1150.
Yeah, it's a math problem. Anyway, now we're allowed to go around the room. We go left to right. We go to Cade Bickham, who's behind the glass. He is a baseball savant. He is also in for Nick Savage this morning. Cade, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, baseball savant is perhaps a stretch, but I like to think I know a thing or two. Yes.
Well, then, I don't know. Give us some wisdom, bro.
So, I can see where everybody's coming from in the whole debate about whether A&M should be an 8, should be a 9, should be a 10. Frankly, I think that the kind of the odd man out here is Southern Miss, where they're projected as a 9 right now, and obviously they have a great record, but have they? The question is about, have they played the same level of competition that the other teams in the SEC have? I think they're if I'm not mistaken, they look to be the only team on this national seed projection list that's not in a power conference, and so that it'd be interesting to think about that, and also something to note. A&M could, the committee likes to do funny things, and so A&M could see a team in Austin matched up with them if they want to do something funny like that for a super regional.
Yeah, I would almost bet on it.
Yeah. By the way, this is a question from James Ellis. He says on the YouTube page, how can an offense with our talent get blanked? I'll tell you how. It's called baseball. It happens. I don't like it. It sucks that it happens.
Yeah, the thing I've noticed about this A&M team, I think everybody knows it, that they're not like the type of manufacture runs. They're a team that mashes, and if you're not getting it out of the park, I'm not saying they never manufacture runs, but they're not the type of team that that has a lot of guys that just hit for average and then you steal and bunt and all those things to just manufacture. If they're not if they're not just working over a pitcher, and they work over most pitchers, but every now and then you're going to find somebody you're going to barely miss one that goes to the track. We all know that. Or you just somebody's having a great day pitching.
That Alvarez kid, it's Alvarez, right? From he's
good.
He against A&M, he's freaking Cy Young.
Yeah,
he's fantastic against Texas A&M. Bickham, do you have his stats in front of you? Because I know he was pretty ridiculous. Or if Coughlin has it, because you have it, Coughlin?
Yeah.
What were Alvarez's stats?
He went 5 innings, 1 hit, 4 walks, 9 Ks.
It's pretty darn good, man.
A&M strikes out a lot.
Hey, can I give a PSA real quick?
Do it.
I don't know what kind of audience we have today on a holiday. I know a lot of people are waiting to see what's going to happen, but I just want to remind folks that what we say on social media, what we say on TexAgs.com, has an effect on people considering Texas A&M. I'm not going to say the sport, but I talked to somebody who loves this university recently. Okay, they love it, and they're new to the area, but not new within the last 12 months.
Okay,
and as they were kind of deciding what they wanted to do, they were on the message boards and they see some game threads, maybe during football, during baseball, but basketball. I'm like, man, you guys can be a little harsh, a little mean. And I think that is just social media culture, right? It's not just a TexAgs thing. It's
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere, right? But it is a billboard to our university for folks who don't know our university. We, like people around Texas, understand, I think, the charm that it is to be an Aggie, right? And I hope that most of us, hold ourselves to a higher standard. But recognize there are people who don't know us that hear great things about us, and then they see what we say about somebody's, look, about, making personal attacks during game. Like, just realize, if you want to get the best talent in the world, that is part of the evaluation process of like, do I really want to go into this? Now, that's every university, every pro sports program. But I feel like we as Aggies should hold ourselves to a higher standard.
Well, I think that the issue is this. A&M, a lot of Aggies will be out there, and they will act the correct way. But a lot of Aggies have this, forgive me, but we'll say, hey, we're above that. We're the different university. We're the different.
That's what I'm saying right now.
Right.
Yeah.
But then when you're not, because A&M's fan base just like everybody else for the most part, when you're not, then it's magnified.
Sure.
Because when you tell it's kind of like the guy, like a Hugh Freeze, who's always, talking about his faith and has the Bible with him, and then it turns out, what he was doing at Ole Miss.
Right.
So then it's even bigger. It's an even bigger thing. So that's if you're going to be that fan base that says, hey, we're above this and we're better than some of the things that other people, and then you do those same things, you get more criticism than say LSU,
right,
which is on a daily basis. The LSU fans are going to crack and on people and criticize and things like that.
Well, and by the way, that's not to say that you shouldn't voice your displeasure. Nobody's saying that. I'm saying personal attacks, maybe with some colorful language, isn't the best way to get your point across. I understand that emotions run high during games because you've sat next to me. You know how I am, right? Like, emotions run high.
Yeah.
And I might say a bad word or two in Spanish next to you, but
I say them in English,
right? I'm more of a Spanish cursor, but I think sometimes we gotta be. I would hope that we don't need to go to personal attacks, trying to make a baseball, football, basketball, golf, volleyball, choose your sport, track and field. Like, I don't think we have to go to personal attacks to make your point. Hey, I don't like the pitching staff right now. I don't like the way the offense isn't able to run the ball. I think we've got to figure out a change at this position. That's I think all within. That's fair. All fair.
I think it all depends on how you do it. Like, for instance, if I think it's perfectly fine to say this individual is, boy, he's struggling or he's not getting it done, and
I don't trust this guy when he comes up to the plate.
I'm
fine with that.
You look at the stats, and they think. I've always had an issue with the coaches or the players that recoil at facts, at the actual stats.
Yeah.
Right? Because this isn't opinion, this is stats.
Sure.
This is fact. But I also have issues with the complainers that take it to like you said, a personal level.
Yeah, just don't make it personal. Like, look, we may not agree. Not agreeing is fine. I'm sure there are things we don't agree with, right? But we can have a conversation about it. Like, you're a huge Bad Bunny guy. I used to be. Like, I understand the why behind it for you.
Like I said, I've always preferred lousy Lamaforth or horrible hair.
Yeah.
Or
you seem like a Roger Rabbit guy.
Rotten Rabbit.
A Rotten Rabbit, sorry. Let's now, we've gone very long. We'll go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Matthew Coughlin, day 2 for you, buddy. Give us an update or two.
Yeah, I want to start with a fun one. Texas A&M women's soccer incoming freshman Brynja Knudsen has been invited to Iceland's U19 national team training. The team will compete this summer, and when Knudsen makes her debut for the Aggies, will be the second Iceland native to wear the maroon and white.
It's exciting.
How about that? Very Nordic.
What's her? What is it?
Brynja Knudsen.
Brynja Knudsen.
No, there's that Italian.
Oh yeah, I was trying to make her Italian. Say it again.
Brynja Knudsen.
Brynja Knudsen. Brynja Knudsen.
From Iceland. I've always wanted to travel to Iceland.
Never thought about it. Not once in my life have I thought about going to Iceland.
Shireen went, and she told me, she said it was spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not icy.
Not in the summer.
No. That's the time to go, I hear.
Yeah.
I've actually heard nothing about Iceland other than Iceland. I've just heard the name.
Well, they got good girl soccer players.
Apparently so. And hopefully we'll have a great season. Let's hit a break here.
Yes.
And we're going to evaluate a different sport on the other side.
Okay.
We're going to evaluate MMA with an Aggie flavor to it. Okay?
All right.
You know where I'm going with this?
No.
Okay.
MMA with an Aggie flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it as good? Is that flavor as good as the flavor you get of the succulent brisket?
Look at that. You knew. Yeah.
The succulent brisket at $17.75.
If you had to choose a different word, okay? If I said to you, all right, I want a word like succulent,
okay,
but it's got to be different.
Scrumptious.
Okay, let's go another one. Let's keep going. I want to see how you're a wordsmith, OB. I want to see what words we can come up with.
Well,
succulent brisket, scrumptious brisket,
yeah, delicious. How about a gastronomical delight?
Okay, marvelous.
Oh, it's definitely marvelous, like Marvin Hagler.
Yeah, that guy could box. Yeah. What else?
I got to get my thesaurus out. I don't even think the thesauruses could do it all justice, but it's Larapin.
Larapin. Yeah, it's and then if you had to switch, okay, you've had a lot of the brisket, the succulent brisket, the marvelous brisket,
the Larapin
brisket, and then I said I want a side to go with that. And you got to come a side, and you got to come up with a term and then the side.
Oh my gosh, I would have the magnificent queso mac and cheese.
Creamy.
It's creamy.
Queso-esque.
Yeah, it's almost like the queso you get at like a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, almost. But
it's on macaroni and cheese, and it just hugs that macaroni.
It hugs
cheese.
it.
It clings.
It cuddles.
to it because it coats. Yeah, it just it's
a romantic experience.
It's not runny, and I mean that. Yeah. When you get that macaroni, that queso cheese is just. It's almost attached.
Yeah, it's attached. Yeah, they're going steady with each other.
Yeah. Well.
By the way, this is off topic. I've never understood people who get chips and queso at the movie theater. It just doesn't seem like the right environment for it. It's dark. It's probably getting on your jeans.
Probably, but you know what? To me,
do what you do.
There's no bad time for it. It's almost like talking college football. There's no bad time for queso mac and cheese or chips and queso.
1775 is the spot we're talking about, though. Go check it out. 1775txppq.com, 979-492-6241. It is 1775.
It's Larapin.
Que rico. Hey everyone, David Nuño here of TexAgs Live. I want to introduce you to the team at Holistic Planning. Got Jason Barber here, Taylor Pankratz, and also Paul Meredith. Jason, I want to start off with you. What really sets Holistic Planning apart from the others?
Yeah, so what makes us different is most financial advisors stop at investment management. On the other hand, Holistic Planning, we manage investments, taxes, and estate planning all on one team, all underneath one roof.
Now, Taylor, when everything is coordinated like that, it really helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
It really does. When your investments and taxes are working together, you stop leaving money on the table and keep more of what's yours.
Paul, Holistic Planning is trying to expand as well.
That's true. We just opened our Houston office, and we're looking for people who feel like their advisor isn't seeing the full picture, because that's exactly what we fix.
And Jason, there's other opportunities beyond that.
Definitely. If you're a financial advisor and you want to join the Holistic Planning team, we're looking to add 50 teams in the next 5 to 10 years. So check out holisticplanning.com/advisors.
All right, so if you want a team that actually coordinates everything, go to holisticplanning.com. Aggies, this one is worth it. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. I'm going to read this from Tim.
Okay.
On the YouTube chat. In fact, why don't we go to you, Matthew? Why don't you read Tim's comment on the YouTube page? Because I just want to spend a moment on it.
All right.
Yeah, Tim said, what is it about A&M baseball? Is it lack of confidence or just the A&M mentality?
I have no idea, Tim, what you're talking about. This team won 18 games in the SEC. They're going to be a national, maybe not a national seed now, but a top 10 seed. Like, what? To me, when I talk about like a lack of confidence, would be like a losing team, a team that doesn't know how to finish. And maybe you think that about the way they finished the season, but I don't think confidence or a mentality has anything to do. I mean, maybe the fact they were injured, maybe they just ran into a better pitcher,
a real hot pitcher.
Yeah. I don't know about confidence.
I don't think even being shut out, and I'm not saying anything that's a secret here.
Yeah.
A&M has a powerful batting order, and they can score a lot of runs, but you're not going to do it all the time.
Right.
And frankly, A&M is as good as its pitching. I'm not, because when you play 60, 70 games, I'm not going to judge anybody on one.
Right.
And over the course of the season, A&M's batting order.
Are they a top 25 team?
Oh, they're apparently a top 10.
Okay.
Yeah, but the pitching is
they're
erratic.
one of 7
pitching's
SEC
erratic.
teams that's going to host. Like, I don't know. I don't think we need to go to extremes because of a lost game of a team that finished 3rd in the SEC.
I never have looked at this A&M team. Thought, okay, this is a national championship team. I've never thought that.
Me neither.
Because the pitching's not good enough.
Yeah.
But I was hoping that they'd be good enough to host to being a top 8 team, and maybe at least get to Omaha.
This team is significantly better than I think anybody thought.
They were picked 13th.
And let me say this: the pitching is still a problem, and they finished 3rd in the SEC. Like, and their best pitcher hasn't pitched the last couple of weeks.
Right.
Like, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying
those are facts.
Those are facts. And look, do I have confidence this team's going to get to Omaha? I don't know if I do. I don't. Right. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to invest heavily in watching this team, that I don't think that Weston Moss and Aiden Sims and Ethan Darden and Shane Sadeo and Clayton Freshcorn, like all these, Gavin Lyons, all these dudes that I've learned to really appreciate stepping up to big moments, because a lot of them have this year, doesn't mean that I don't think that they can. Like
the best version of A&M, the batting order, and the best version of Weston Moss, and the best version of Shane Sadeo, and definitely Aiden Sims, is a College World Series team. Yep. The issue is, especially with the pitching, is they're erratic.
Yep.
You don't get that best version. Now, we saw the best version of Moss, was it against Auburn?
Yeah.
When he had, a one-hitter or a no-hitter or something going through.
He was great, yeah.
So but you just don't see it. I'm not saying you're always going to be consistently having a no-hitter or something through 6, but I'm just saying a guy that has that's controlling the opponent. You just don't see that version frequently enough. In fact, we see it the complete other way. Walks, and then and as good as the batting order is, I say this sometimes, and I'm told by the people that know baseball more than I do that how wrong I am about it. But to me, as good as they are and as powerful they are, they strike out too much.
Yeah,
and that goes back to what might be a reason why sometimes you get shut out or you don't score very much, because you can't manufacture runs. Sometimes you got guys on base. You strike out. If you at least put the ball in play, something good might happen. Anyway,
hey,
they're not an infallible team, but they're a very good team.
Before we hit a break, we'll do the MMA talk, which is very brief, by the way. The MMA thing is going to be quick with an Aggie spin to it. It'll be very brief, but we'll do that on the other side. Before we hit a break, though, I want to read this text from Trey and Shiner, Matthew, because I'll answer it quickly.
Yes, Trey and Shiner says, appreciate you guys being live today. My question is for David. During your time working for Houston News, did you ever have any dealings with Marvin Zindler?
You're familiar with Marvin Zindler, right? Yeah. Eyewitness News, right?
Yeah.
The Slime in the Ice Machine. He also was in your favorite movie, The Best Little Whorehouse in
Texas.
Well, based on him.
He's the guy that exposed it.
Yep. So with Marvin in particular, no. Marvin had passed by the time I had gotten to Channel 13, but I did have an encounter with his wife. So my old co-host was Ken Hoffman, Houston Chronicle columnist at the time. He's passed away, dear friend of mine. He wrote about sports, wrestling, puppy dogs, and food. That was it. It was like It was kind of a comedic Seinfeld column he did for many years at the Houston Post and the Houston Chronicle.
Okay.
He was amazing. He also did a lot of food judging competitions. So kolache eating contests. He was one of the judges. He would go always to Nathan's in New York, and he was a part of it. Always, right? You'd see him there. We got invited to some kind of eating contest at Kenny and Ziggy's, I think is what it's called. Kenny and Ziggy's in Houston. And I had to shoot video. I think it was on my phone or whatever we had in 2007, 8. And I was sitting down, and I guess I stood up, and Marvin Zellner's wife was behind me, and she was not having that.
That you stood up.
Like I stood up to take, and she, I guess I was taller than her. Sorry. And she reprimanded me in front of Raheel, my partner. That's the only encounter I had with Marvin Zellner. So don't stand in front of the Zellners, but he's a legend, an icon, and I didn't get to work with him, but I did get to work with the great Dave Ward.
Okay.
You familiar with his work?
Well, I'm not from Houston.
No, but he was an anchor for 50 years in Houston.
Okay.
50 years, which I think was the longest tenured anchor at the time. I mean, he retired. He passed away a year ago. And Bob Allen, who was he was like a Del Hansen in Houston.
Okay.
So that concludes our TED Talk on ABC 13 News. Right now, we're going to hit a break. When we come back, MMA football. Both.
Okay. MMA football.
And maybe we'll get a update on a race with an Aggie
like
spin
Indy
too.
500. Maybe.
Yeah. We'll do that on the other side. Rollo Insurance, they build lasting relationships through education, helping you understand what you're buying and the why behind it. With expertise in everything from home to auto to business, you name it, to ranch insurance, they will take great care of you. Their independent agents provide tailored options specific to your needs. They take time to explain it in plain language so you understand what you have, and there's never going to be questions, and you're going to know your agent like the back of your hand. He's going to be involved in your life. He'll know exactly all the things that are going on. Many clients discover better protection at competitive rates because they finally understand their options. Visit the website, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. Hey everyone, David Nuño of TexAgs Live, and I'm here with Brandon Moreau of Brazos Valley Floor and Design. They're a family-owned business, and Brandon used to work for the A&M football team, the Texans, you name it. Brandon, tell us a little bit about Brazos Valley Floor and Design.
Yeah, like I said, it's a family business. We started in 1999. It was in a small feed store, and about 4 years later, my dad decided he wanted to grow the business and kind of focus on that. So we're in the location we are at now, and we have a large showroom with salespeople with designer experience, a lot of stocking power, and we cater a lot to residential builders, and we do a little commercial work as well.
Tell me about your other company as well, Premier Countertop Design.
Yeah, Premier Countertop Design is right there on site, so it's kind of a one-stop shop. People can come by, they can look at their slabs that they're going to cut, they're going to compare to their cabinet colors, their backsplash that they're going to do at our flooring store, and we have a lot of digital. We're doing a lot of digital stuff. We're templating, water jet, laser measuring, all different things like that.
So tell me a little bit about what sets you guys apart from the rest of the competition.
I think just being here in the community for 27 years in business, and our vendors that we have the relationships with, the pricing we can get because of how much we can buy in stock and things like that. And then as far as the countertop business, it's just the way we can be precise with what we do.
All right, there you have it, guys. Check out the website, bvfloorandddesign.com and premiercountertopdesign.com.
Howdy, Ags. This is Texas A&M quarterback Marcel Reed, and you're listening to TexAgs Live on the Zone, 11:50 a.m. and 93.7 FM.
What a song.
It's a great song. It's a great song. I've tried that before. Hey, excuse me. I think you got my chair. And she said, well, you snooze, you lose. Get the hell out of here, loser. Hey, what about Marcel? You know, that what do you call that? Just
Liner?
promo liner? That voice, he's not a little guy. By football standards, he is.
Sure.
But that voice is a voice of a lineman.
Yeah. Or a broadcaster.
Yeah.
He's got
he
a
sounds
career,
good.
whatever he wants to do. We are TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. What does the name Bob Maneri mean to you?
Bob Maneri. You know what? Actually, it sounds familiar, but I don't know why.
Well, I don't know who the hell he is.
Bob Maneri.
But he was born on June 10th, 1987 in Boston. He is a podcaster and actor known for the movie Roadhouse. Apparently he was
Roadhouse.
on the Full Send Golf and Billions. I'm not familiar with him, but our friend Johnny Manziel, the Heisman Trophy winner, fought him
That's why.
in an MMA fight. Let's go to some of this footage. Johnny, for those listening on radio, Johnny comes out, with a front leg kick, and I'm not going to judge. He's an athlete, right? And he's got some.
He's got a little bit of a dad bod going.
Yeah, I'm just talking from. He's an athlete. You could tell though, right? But this Bob Maneri guy looks like he's never in the football tackle. The only problem I have, like, if I were to he got on full mount there, and that was exactly what you need to do. Fantastic, as I'm a fake commentator for the MMA. The only issue I had with what I saw was he did the football tackle, which in theory, that's what a football player would do.
Oh no, it was a perfect form tackle. Knocks the guy on his back. Then he gets on with his shoulder. It seems like his knees on the guy's shoulders.
Yep.
And then he acts like the guy's his little brother and beats the living daylights out of him.
He gets on full mount and he goes to town on him. But do you know why I think that was a mistake going football tackle? It worked.
I don't, because in amateur fighting like this, takedown's a takedown.
Yeah, here's the why behind it. Can you go back to it? I just this is where my expertise as a white belt double black stripe comes into play. When he goes for the tackle, all Bob Maneri had to do was turn that into a guillotine. Bam! And he tried. He couldn't do it. You do not put your head on the side of the body like that. It sets you up for a choke. You put your face in the middle of the chest. But his ability to get his knees into the shoulders and get into full mount, to me, is why he is a Heisman Trophy winner without a lot of training, classical training. The guy can kick some major ASS.
Yeah, well, I don't know how good this Maneri guy is, right?
I would have beat him.
But
I would have
they were
lost to
having
Johnny
a fight, and he beat the hell out of him. It looked like my older brother Terry when he was like 14 and I was 8.
Yeah.
And he's tormenting me and beating me up because for whatever reason, because he was mean to me. Now years later, you have brothers, older brothers, right? So you probably experienced this too. If anybody messed with me, my brother would beat them up.
Yeah.
So but the only person who was allowed to beat me up was my brother.
Your brother. So props to Johnny for putting himself in that environment, right? I don't know how long he had to train for it. I don't know if they had like a cut.
It doesn't look like he trained a long time.
But he's an athlete, like you could tell, right?
Yeah, I think that if you were an athlete, and he's still not that old, right? He's probably
like 32,
mid-30s.
maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, if you've been and he plays a lot of golf.
Yeah.
So if you've been an athlete, and golf, this guy's making a reaction.
I made the same face.
At least golf keeps you active and moving. He's what I'm saying.
Like walking in the neighborhood.
He's not just sitting around, getting drunk every day. Well, maybe he's at least playing golf while he's getting drunk. Anyway.
I think golfers get drunk when they play golf.
They do, but at least they're still walking around and doing something. The point is that, once you've been an athlete, you still have some of that. It's because the other guy's probably the same age, right? So you still have some of that. I'll say this. If you were an athlete 20 years ago and you maintained a certain amount of being active, you maintain some of that ability. Not all, but now, if you're not an athlete, I'm not talking about a big slug, but you're not an athlete, or a college style athlete, And you spent 20 years, though, staying in shape and training and things like that just because you want to be healthy.
Because I stay ready.
Or you're trying to, lure the opposite sex or whatever.
Whatever your reasoning behind
and
it.
you have a fight against a guy who was 20 years ago an athlete, but for 20 years has done nothing, then, you're probably going to win.
Yeah. Well, props to Johnny for winning. He wasn't the only Aggie to win.
No.
Well, I don't know if I would say Aggie, but I would say the logo was presented highly. Let's get the update there from the Angry Elephant News and Social Center, Matthew Coughlin.
So, yes, Indy 500 was this weekend. Texas A&M University prominently featured in the Indy 500 through a major branding partner with Meyer Shank Racing. The number 60 Honda, driven by Felix Rosenqvist, I believe is how you say it on the broadcast.
Felix Rosenqvist.
Carried Texas A&M branding, Aggie maroon livery, and university logos. He wins the closest 1-2 finish in Indy 500 history. And the reason A&M got into this business was the celebration of purpose, patriotism, teamwork, and the people who engineer a brighter, safer world for us all.
Didn't A&M, I believe, in some school of, I don't know, engineering or whatever, I thought that they had created, lack of a better way to put it, a race car. I'm not saying that was the race car, but am I mistaken on that? Wasn't there a A&M department that put together a race car that was? I think they won some kind of award for it.
Yeah, the students make it's like a Formula One racing car, and it's like a club team, I think, and they actually spend like a lot of money on it. But they win a lot. I've seen they get like a professional driver in there to do it as well.
I remember when Jeff Gordon came. I don't know what he was doing here, but he's at A&M. Maybe it had something to do with that, and I had to go out there and interview him.
All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, I want to hear something, if we have enough time, from Joel Klatt, and then see what you're chasing when you get to Destin here later on today. Let's do that on the other side. Right now, we're talking a little Heritage Films. Heritage Films is a company started by my buddy Chance McClain. They don't just make documentaries. They like to preserve family stories. So that's basically what a documentary is. They like to tell the story, but they're going to preserve it for the future generations. Sometimes these stories are lost forever. So imagine capturing your dad's journey, your grandfather's struggles, whatever it may be, in a professional cinematic way that's going to be captured for the next generation and the generation after that. These aren't just random videos. These are like HBO quality, Netflix-style documentaries that are going to stand the test of time. Call Chance McClain up right now at 713-893-8341. 713-893-8341, or check out yourheritagefilm.com. That's yourheritagefilm.com. I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal, or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar. I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going? You use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst. So OB's about to head out to Destin for the spring meetings, SEC spring meetings. I want you to listen to this from Joel Klatt, because I know we're up against the clock, about what he expects to be a contentious SEC meeting between coaches and Greg Sankey.
I had multiple coaches tell me that 90% of the coaches in the SEC and 100% of the athletic directors in the SEC favor a 24-team model for playoff expansion. There is a sentiment, at least amongst the Big Ten coaches, that the meetings between Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, and his coaches are going to be contentious because the coaches are going to be pushing for one thing. Greg has publicly, obviously, stated something very different and in opposition of the 24-team model, and that they might not have a consensus down there in those rooms. So the meetings in Destin for the SEC spring meetings, very interesting, very interesting. It should be noted, Greg works for the presidents of the SEC, just like Tony Patini works for the presidents of the Big Ten. And if the athletic directors and coaches get their presidents on board, Greg Sankey's not going to be able to fend off all of his bosses. He's got 16 bosses in the SEC. If they all come up to, if 12 of those guys come up and say, no, this is what we want, then the SEC's tune is going to change. And there was a sentiment among a lot of the people in the Big Ten that could happen.
That was on the Joel Klatt show. OB, I feel like we've heard different from certain SEC. I know Georgia's in favor of expanding. I believe it was Georgia that I read Georgia's in favor of making their own league. The SEC maybe even teaming up with the Big Ten.
I think Mike Elko has been on record at least indicating, if I interpreted correctly, that he prefers a smaller playoff field. Not smaller, 12 to 16. Look, he's right on one thing. If the athletic directors and most of the coaches want it to be a 24-team playoff, he does work, and they will convince their presidents, and then it'll become a 24-team playoff. If that's true, it kind of seems to me like, by the same token, Greg Sankey's been meeting with these people, and I find it somewhat suspicious to say that all the athletic directors are for the 24-team playoff, and Greg Sankey is still against it. Because again, he works for. So I don't know. Maybe what he's hearing is right. Sometimes you're hearing what you want to hear.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what? It'll be a great conversation. Piece. Something to ask some of the coaches and athletic directors that we see this week.
OB, you got 30 seconds. What are other stories you're chasing while you were in Destin?
Well, again, I think the thing you're going to have about is expansion, but I think then you have to ask some questions that go. How's that going to affect scheduling? Does A&M still want to play teams like Notre Dame or at Ohio State or something? If you're only going to have 12 or if you have 24, things like that.
OB, safe travels, buddy. Thank you very much. When we come back, Michael Earley, right before the selection show here in a couple hours, is TexAgs Live. And we are back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. It is Selection Monday. We'll find out A&M's fate here in a couple hours. A little baseball segment, or baseball hour, I should say. Michael Earley and Ryan Brauninger in studio. Michael Earley, obviously the A&M baseball coach. Coach, thanks for coming in on a holiday. I know it's a busy day for you.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, you're going about 11 o'clock today.
11 o'clock. So I guess we'll start things off with the Auburn game. And you mentioned it being out of character. What do you think happened on that particular day? Just really good pitching?
Yeah, I mean, credit to them. They're a really good team, but I think obviously we're better than that. We've played better than that, a large part of the season. Yeah, it was just it's an interesting week. You're trying to balance rest and preparation, and whenever you don't play well, you always look, did we prepare enough? There's not really much we could have done differently. It's kind of the hand you're dealt. Now, yeah, I mean, it's washed. It's over. We addressed it. We worked on things from it. We'll be better. Definitely don't ever want to play like that. Never want to lose, period. But just a lot of time and how we deal with that time is some things we're changing, but especially rolling into a regional. So it sucked. It's over. Learn from it. We'll be better. And it's just time to turn the page.
Do you think, now that you've coached in this tournament 2 years as a head coach and then being involved with it as an assistant, you've been in Hoover where it's changed from double elimination to single elimination. Do you think that there is some merit to playing earlier in the week, just like you can keep your rhythm and it's a single elimination? To me, it looks like if you win your first game there, like you got a chance to get on the road. The hardest game to win might be the first one.
Yeah, I'm not an excuse maker, so I don't want to come off as that. But yeah, it's different. Like you don't play for a week or you play right away, it helps. But at the same time, like Georgia just won the thing. So yeah. I think there's some thing. It's really just based on where your team's at, how you balance it. Because I've played two different styles now. I've been double bye in the double or the single elimination, a double bye and not. And yeah, it's definitely different. So how you handle it based on how your team's feeling, based on where do you feel like you're going to be in a week, all of that becomes a factor. And in hindsight in this game is unbelievable, right? Because
everybody's an expert.
Yeah, because what we did before Mississippi State was pretty close to what we did before we played Auburn, except we had 2 days where we're, practicing out of high school, which is fine. Like it doesn't matter, but it's just in the end, sometimes baseball will get you, man. And I try not to overthink that part. Address what we think we did wrong and also look at the body of work and trust your guys.
It's pretty remarkable, though, that y'all were the last team to play in the tournament, last team to play your first game in the tournament. And, Ole Miss had been eliminated almost. They were at home for 3 full days, and they had played in the same tournament. To me, it just this new single elimination style, I think we're learning more and more about it. And, I think every coach around the league is going to go, how are we going to manage this depending on how we get seated in this thing?
It's a different feel. Playing in both. When I remember my first year, you pull up to the hotel and everyone kind of is rolling in at the same time. There's players and coaches everywhere. Now it's just, I'll take it, right? I always take the double bye, but it just doesn't feel, it doesn't affect the game, but it's definitely a different feel of the tournament. I like it. I like that. It rewards the regular season, and it should give you an advantage to have a chance to win the tournament. I'm not sure what the record's been of top fours, but if you're good, you're good. And Georgia's clearly, in my opinion, the best team in the country, and they went in and took care of business. So it just is what it is.
The camera got you. They panned to you in the post game. Seemed like you were giving them pretty stern talking to. To me, and tell me if I'm wrong. Losing, you never want to lose. You don't like losing, but within the context of everything, losing, okay. It's how you lost. I think you're probably more disturbed with.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just message about getting ready to go this week, period. It's, talked about, I just blame the whole game on myself and just be ready to be prepared this week when you come in. So,
what's that mean?
Like I said, it's just if we ever play like that, the way I look at it is if we win, it's because the players executed and they did their job. If we lose, it's my fault. That's just how I think. Okay, now we're going to prepare differently. Same we've done, but in a different style of an intent, because clearly what we did the week before didn't have us mentally ready to go. And that's just how I felt in the moment. So the message was kind of like, just be ready to go this week, because I won't under-prepare you this week. I promise you that.
It's my way of asking about health. Is it fair to say the team we're going to see at the regional this upcoming weekend is kind of different than what we've seen in the last few weeks?
Yeah. I mean, if you Aiden's been throwing, playing catch, going great. Nico could have played Friday. He was probably fine. I was like, okay, if this guy can play today, he can 1,000% play next Friday. So that's why we kept him out. I wanted to hunt him an at-bat. Like, the idea was to get him an at-bat in every game. As the game got away, the field was soaking wet. Like, I just wasn't going to do it. But yeah, Nico will be in there. So we'll be close to, regular lineup.
And then in the back end of that game, as it starts looking like, Auburn's pulling away a little bit and you make the decision to go, Weston, Shane, fresh corn. Was that the plan if it got to that scenario, or was it regardless those guys needed to pitch in that day?
Maybe not Weston, just for, if we're going to win the game, you want to try to hold him off. He would be behind fresh and then roll from there. But yeah, they need to get working. So they were going to pitch it was going to be those guys no matter what, to an extent, depending on the score. Now, if we're up 7-0, it changes everything because you have another day. But if we were ever down, the decision was easy because those guys, number one, they can keep you in the game, but two, they got to get their work in.
As you look ahead to a regional setting, how much will the decisions you make or have you made a decision on when you want to play game one? Because you have the option.
I made that a month ago. Actually, you have to turn that in.
So y'all will play.
You play game one.
Okay, y'all going to play in the afternoon on Friday.
Yeah, and I think, this is what I learned, and I agree with it. If anyone wants to know the reasoning, like, why aren't you playing at night? Well, there's a lot of factors, and when I learned this and was taught you do it this way, I completely agreed with it. Is like, number one, if we play at home in a regional, and if we play at 8 a.m., like, our fans are coming. Like, it's not at 8 a.m., but if there's any sort of weather, you're the first game, so you get backed up. If you're that second game, if there's any weather lightning, you could possibly play the next day. Mm-hmm. And then by the chance that you lose, you get a 24-hour turnaround instead of night to day. So that is the theory behind playing game one for anyone that was wondering, and I kind of agree with all those things.
And then how you are going to manage the staff, will that also depend on who shows up here?
Yeah. You're not trying to win a series now, right? You're trying to win a mini tournament. Mm-hmm. So you got to make sure you have enough guys to do it. So yeah, it really depends on who we pitch, how we do it. It's going to depend on matchups, but it is one game at a time. Like, you got to win. But some guys are just going to have to, take on some roles that they might not have taken on for a longer period of time or a shorter period of time, or for back-to-back days period of time. So it's postseason, so anything goes.
Offensively, you guys exited the Mississippi State series feeling incredible, and then you go and you play that game, and Auburn can pitch, but I think you would agree it was bad. Like, chase rate was bad, swing decisions were bad. Is that something you can flush easily, or in the kids, or like, I know you had a day off. Like, how many of them were up here trying to get back on the horse?
Yeah, they did. We got back Saturday, and we were up there Saturday night, me and a few of the guys, and then all day yesterday. Yeah, there's like two parts of me, right? There's like the head coach, then there's the guy that does the hitting who has to understand to flush, and there's this guy that you can't tell him anything, like, just be better. It's kind of that blend of what you need to do. Like, we can hit. We're good. I know that. Like, I remembered it from the week before. It's just sometimes baseball is you don't know when those stinkers are going to happen. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yep. Does it feel great that you did it right before the regional? No. But we play in a week. Just like the week before, we played a lot better. So we're going to be great. We're going to be fine. We're going to be prepared. We're ready to go.
If you need to call back on any experience, you have it from a couple of years ago where week 8 in the SEC season, lost a series. Week 9, you lost a series. Week 10, you won a series at home. And then you went 2-Q.
Trying to make me feel better.
You went 2-Q at Hoover. And, you went.
Oh, yeah, we did, didn't we?
So you walked into a regional at home in 24 with kind of the same trend of games that you just walked through.
Yeah, that'd be great if it played out the same. It's look, you trust your team and you trust your guys, and it's not. I understand how baseball works and how baseball's hard, and sometimes you're going to lose. It's okay.
Well,
it's okay now because we're still playing. You know what I mean? It's never okay to lose like that, but it's like we addressed it. It's fine. We're working on it. Just move on.
How much, like for like Jorian in Boston, these guys that are, kind of going through it offensively during the week, how much are you giving to them on their plate mechanically to try, or are you trying to simplify, like what's their process right now?
A little bit of both. I mean, both got some mechanical issues we're trying to fix. That's what we worked on the other night, and then just day by day trying to spoon feed it and just mentally trying to make them feel good too. But they both had some things that needed to change mechanically to give them a better shot, period. And they're taking to it really well. I think be a good reset for them. They've been able to. Now, you won't, when you watch it from the naked eye, you're not going to see like some of these monstrous changes, but there's some things that are different that we think can help them, right? And I think we got to get Boston back to when he impacts the ball, he can impact the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Boston went through a period where Boston was pretty good. Then he kind of had a little bit of, he was struggling, but he's still getting on base. And then he gets hit in the face. And then for like a week and a half, you're not really coaching him. You're just like hoping he competes. And now it's like we've kind of got back to like, okay, we can work on some stuff now. And Jorian, same thing. Like he was really good. And then he was competing his way through hits, but swing and miss too much. And it's just the lulls of the game. And they've been working super hard this week because we need that bottom of the order to be strong because that's kind of what's carried us through the whole year. The bottom of the order is strong, and then you get the top back up.
After a stinker, obviously, I know this is what you worked all season for, to be at home for this opportunity. Yeah. How nice is, though, like, all right, we're getting back home. It is just baseball. We know what we have to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I'm happy for our guys and everyone that supported us. And, yeah, it's been, look, I know there's much talk about, did you lose a top 8 or you got a top 8? Like, whatever happens with that happens. It's just, it is what it is. Like I can't go back and we can't go back and win more game in Oklahoma. We wish we could or play better at Ole Miss. It's just, it is what it is. But what we do know is we're hosting a regional, and I think it's great. We get to be here at Bluebell Park in front of our fan base, and our guys have worked really hard for this. And it was, from the first day till now, like just a ton of work, a ton of buy-in, and I'm really proud of them. Now it's time to, you want to play at home for a reason because you feel like it should be an advantage, and it is. So you just got to go out and take care of business.
For you, I'm sure it's easier from your perspective and the players, but control what you can control. Like, it is what it is. We're just going to do our work.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Like, you can't – in postseason play, you don't change. Like, if it's a Saturday in an SEC game and you're down by 2 in the second inning, you don't start freaking out. You just keep playing. It's happened. And that's the key. That's the trick. And that's why it's good. These older guys have experience playing in this. And just like they had experience all year playing in the SEC, and they're able to trickle that down to our younger guys, that's going to be, I think, really big for us.
You talked about Nico and Aiden. Just is Chris any closer to being able to play defense, or is it probably going to be hit only?
Yeah, I don't think he's any closer. He looks like he is until he has to run.
Yeah.
And it kind of brings him back. So I would say probably not.
Well,
but he can hit, so we're...
Yeah, for sure. And I was going to say, like, this is going to be the lineup that looks the most like it did during that run of Texas, LSU, Florida. How much tinkering? You say you don't do things differently, but you go back and you look how that lineup was constructed and what you have available now. Is there any kind of thought to go back to, really all you'd be doing is flipping TK for Royo with the current health and the setup you got?
Yeah.
So I'm just,
You're talking about just orders
where does Bear go? Like all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a good question, right? Because you want to. Sometimes you can't try to recreate what was. Maybe it's not there, or putting it back in that order kind of gives you a spark, and because that was a really good. It's constructed well.
Mm-hmm.
The part that makes it work is the pieces got to fit and play well.
Right.
We had some kind of gaps in the middle where we had to change and flip. So, I've definitely considered both. Once we find out who we play, that'll be a little telling. So, we got some good guys, right? And like we've been working Gavin out at second a little bit too, just because Bendy's been playing well, but Royo's been playing well. So those are the decisions you want to have to make. So, yeah, we'll If you guys got some advice on them, I'm sure some people do.
You got probably plenty of people that'll give you advice.
I'll take it, man.
Coach Earley, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back more with Brauninger on the other side. When it comes to your money and your peace of mind, it starts with the right team. That right team is Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No commissions, no sales pitches, just trusted advice tailored to you. They have a team of 18 professionals, including over 9 CFPs, a CFA, and a CPA, and their expertise does run deep at Paragon because credentials matter and so does your future. Visit paragon-edv.com or give them a call, 979-693-3907, to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. Everyone, David Nuño here for Allen Honda. Had a great conversation with them earlier today. John Allen's the owner. He's been here forever, and also their GM, Rusty Skinner, great guy. Wonderful conversation. They're super local. They're a family-owned dealership, not some massive auto group, and they treat their customers like family because they basically are family. They're Aggie alums. They love Aggie sports, and they've been serving the Brazos Valley with integrity, with passion, and commitment to excellence for over 50 years, which is very rare, by the way, for the independents because people trust them. And that's why they've been doing it for such a long time. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or service your vehicle, you can count on them for transparent, no pressure experience that puts your needs first. And I can attest to it. Had a great conversation about my own situation with them. Their knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect Honda to fit your lifestyle, from fuel-efficient sedans to versatile SUVs. Leasing options are flexible and affordable, making it easy to drive the latest models with confidence. And when it comes to service, their certified technicians only use genuine Honda parts to keep your vehicle running at its best, whether it's routine maintenance for major repairs or whatever it may be. And we know that trust isn't given, it is earned, and that's why generations of local drivers right here in the Brazos Valley and Bryan College Station keep coming back to Allen Honda. As part of the community with Aggie spirit in their hearts, they are here to make everyone's visit wonderful. So visit their showroom or their service lane and find friendly, efficient, and memorable situations when you go to Allen Honda. Come see why so many College Station and Bryan drivers choose Allen Honda for their automotive needs, and remember, gig 'em. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Continue our baseball conversation. Ryan Brauninger in studio.
Don't abuse my producer all week.
What did I
Just
do?
because your producer's taking some time off, don't abuse my producer all week.
How did I abuse
Well,
him?
you've got him doing extra stuff. He's
what?
taking on more responsibility.
Such as?
He needs an army of Cade Bickham needs his army of on B team and regular whenever he's got to fill in for Nick interns that he can just point and just direct. Reese is back there, so Reese is a good mule.
Yeah,
Reese he's a some people might use another term to describe Reese other than mule.
What word would that be?
Jackass.
I don't get that.
But the streets are saying that Reese Nygren is the reason why A&M played so poorly against Auburn.
I don't think that's
the streets
possible.
are saying that. I didn't say that.
I haven't seen that once on Twitter, to be honest with you.
Oh, I've seen it. It's gotten sent to Richard. Richard found it and sent it to a lot of people.
So, by the way, what did I do to abuse Bickham today?
I don't like your attitude, Cade. You know where your true home is.
Yeah, Bronny doesn't have headphones on, so you can't talk to him. In fact, you're panicking. Bronny, how much does recency bias, and I guess by recency, we're talking about one game because they did win the last series against Mississippi State, right? Play a role, you think, in what's going to happen here in an hour and 38 minutes?
We'll see. With this committee, and really baseball committees in general, Florida and Florida State's AD are on this committee. If you don't think, now they have to recuse themselves whenever their school's being spoken about, but if you don't think that has an influence, you're crazy.
Right.
Recency bias, I don't know yet. We won't fully know until the bracket is revealed. But if you are going to dump A&M for how they played in Hoover, then Texas should get the same treatment. Because Texas played the game before A&M and essentially had the same result. They lost 8-1 to Arkansas. And were never really competitive in the game. No different than A&M losing 7-0 to Auburn. So we'll see. I would imagine, based off past history and also the host sites that they decided upon, that there is going to be major discrepancies in how this bracket, when it's unveiled, how it was seeded, who got what, who got national seeds, who didn't, and where some teams are going. And here's the evidence that I needed. And I don't know where A&M's going to fall. I got a good feeling this morning, based off some of the stuff that I was told, that they will not be paired with Texas. I'm extremely confident in that. But if you're going to tell me that they're not paired with Texas, then that either means they are the 8, or they've probably fallen somewhere further than we expected. So either A&M is
which
the
means
8,
Texas hasn't fallen,
or Texas. Yeah, or I guess if Texas could also have fallen too. But I don't think they're going to be paired with Texas. Again, I'm pretty confident in saying that. However, the committee, if you'll remember, a couple of weeks ago, toward the end of the regular season, when teams were dumping midweek games because of the RPI hit they were going to take, the NCAA came out and said, when we go into deliberations about this, we will make note of who is doing this, and you will be penalized if you cancel games. Oregon canceled a midweek pair of games against Grand Canyon late in the year. No real reason was given. They canceled the games. Oregon gets a host site when they were on the bubble to host. Arkansas, and people will be like, well, Oregon went to the finals of the Big Ten tournament. Cool. Arkansas just went to the finals of the SEC tournament. They didn't get a host. So right there's something, like, you can either say, if you're going to say, well, Oregon got it because they made a good run in the conference tournament, well, then Auburn made a really good run in the conference tournament. Arkansas made a really good run in the conference tournament. Arkansas had 18 quad one wins, more than any other school outside of Georgia. And Arkansas doesn't get a top 16 seed. Mississippi State does, and those metrics, especially after the tournament, greatly favor Arkansas.
Right.
I'm just telling you, like, when you go through this, it's going to be hard. No different than remember the College Football Playoff Committee, where they kind of see that the difference here is the the head of the selection committee for baseball hasn't been doing national press conferences, once a week.
Getting updates every week, right.
This is just going to be a news dump, and here we go. But if you'll remember, it was Juracek like sweating on national TV, talking himself into a corner in a bunch of different ways. I'd be willing to bet that this committee, with 64 teams seated and already some precedent that they've set, they're going to have a tough time explaining some of these decisions. And it's going to be political in some of the instances, and they just can't say it.
Right.
But you look around the region, and I was listening to Kendall's D1 baseball. I call it the Nerdcast. So they projected their whole field last night. They had A&M as the 10 seed, with Cincinnati, Boston College, and Lamar coming to College Station for their regional. They got down to, I think there were 6 teams for their final 2 spots. And they had TCU, Texas State, and UTSA all in the bubble discussion, and they talked for a long time about how they were going to parse out those final 2 spots. All 3 of those got left out of the tournament from D1 baseball. I don't think all 3 are going to miss the tournament, but even if 2 of the 3 do, there's going to be some broken hearts in the state, and it's going to be a real shock to some players and coaches at those programs if they don't get in. But again, like if the guys that watch the most college baseball of anybody in the country, Aaron Fitt, Mark Etheridge, Joe Healy, Kendall Rogers, those guys at D1 baseball, that's their job, is to watch this stuff. The AD at Florida, the AD at Florida State, you think they have the time to digest as much college baseball, watch and digest it and make decisions some of it based on eye test?
Right.
No. And these guys that watch all of this college baseball sit there and talked they could have talked for 2 hours just about those final 2 spots, comparing resumes, and every team has blemishes, and what are we valuing here? Not just in these final 2 spots, but what is the precedent we've set with the other at-large bids? Like, it takes that type of deliberation, and I don't know if there's enough real baseball people on that committee, especially at the top of it, to be able to parse through that and make those decisions with the backing of, hey, this is what we are valuing from 1 to 64.
That's an interesting point. Why don't more of these committees have experts in their field involved in said committee?
I don't know. We were talking to Coach Earley in the lobby, and I brought the point Josh Pate's kind of campaigning for this president of college football role. I don't think it would be a bad idea if Josh Pate were on the playoff selection committee.
Yeah. He does the homework. He understands the nuance.
He watches a bunch of the games. Yeah. And in football, it's easier to watch. Like, it's Saturday, and you're going to flip through some channels, but you can have a bunch of TVs on. It's a one-day commitment a week to look at all the football teams that are in discussion, especially for the playoff as you get down to October, November, that type of that area of the calendar. Baseball, it's a lot bigger assignment, just the amount of games. But if you are going to put together a 64-team tournament like basketball, you need people that are going to watch as much of it as possible and be unbiased and just want the best for the game and not want the best for one institution.
Sure.
I'm not advocating that Luke Evangelist be on the basketball committee, but there is somebody nationally that watches as much college basketball as Luke Evangelist that just wants what's best for the sport, and they could be on the committee. Is it Jeff Goodman or Andy Katz or Jay Billis, somebody like that? So I would want a more national voice on these committees, maybe more than one.
Emotions are running high, as they always do when we get close to the postseason. What do you say to people on the boards? What do you say to fans? What do you say about this baseball team entering this regional here? We'll find out in an hour and a half who they have.
Yeah, it's baseball's fickle, and you went to Hoover, and that is the last memory that everybody has about this team, whether they're A&M fans or perhaps even on the selection committee. So you ask about recency bias. If they're going to go off what A&M did last, then it's not going to look great. But I would argue that it is a one-game sample size after winning a top 10 series at home or a top 15 series at home. You came in third in the SEC. You won 18 league games. And you look at the body of work, and if you're going to be getting Aiden Sims back and you're getting Partita back, that is as close as you can get to full health if Chris Hakopian's not going to be able to play defense the rest of the year. So if you go back and, like I asked Coach Earley, if you look at that series against Texas and against LSU and against Florida, the only, to my eye, the only difference in that lineup will be TK would be out because Jake Dewar will play left, and Ben Royo is replacing TK in the lineup. And the way that Ben Royo's been swinging the bat,
makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, they've got to make some decisions with the lineup. I don't think you put Bear back down in the 8-hole with the way he's swinging the bat, but I think you could put Jake Dewar down there and try to replicate the on base ahead of Boston in the 9-hole to flip it to Grahovic and Sorrell. But I think with the way Bear's swinging the bat and getting Nico back, I would be less inspired to try to right left as far as I can and just stack as many as my good hitters in a row. So personally, I'd like to see them go Gavin, Sorrell, Hakopian, Nico, Bear as the top 5. And then how you do the back half of the order will be kind of dependent on what you think Jorian is going to do going forward. And I believe in Jorian wholeheartedly.
You always have, yeah.
And he's going through a rough patch, and he's played 1 game in 2 weeks. And look, I just think Jorian's not going to get better. You're not going to get to his ceiling now with how everything's gone by sitting him in the dugout. He's got to put his feet in the batter's box. That's how he's going to go get better. And if he's going to Team USA this summer, if he doesn't make the final team, I hope he goes to a summer team to finish out the remainder of July and August, where he is going to put his feet in the batter's box, because that's just what he needs. But yeah, man, the 2024 team's a great example. They were better on the pitcher's mound, but the offenses are very comparable, and they lost a series to LSU. They lost a series to Ole Miss. They win a series against Arkansas. They go 0-2 in the SEC tournament. They were 4-12. They were 4-8 in their final 12 SEC games prior to them playing SEC competition in Omaha.
Right.
This A&M team, I think, is 4-6 in their last 10 SEC games heading into the postseason. So if you're wanting a glass half full perspective, there it is. Now, everybody's going to go, what the pitching is going to be the biggest question mark between that team, who had a healthy Ryan Prager, an emerging Justin Lampkin, an emerging Shane Sadeo out of the bullpen, and then obviously Aschenbeck and Cortez.
Right.
This team just doesn't have those guys that you trust at that level. And so that's the biggest question mark. And if I said it on the message boards over the weekend, if you want to tell me that this team doesn't get out of their own regional because of the pitching, I'm like, okay, yeah,
I get that.
Understandable. But if you want to tell me this team's going to go to Omaha because of how they swing the bat,
I see that too.
I understand that too.
Yep.
It truly is a coin flip on how this all could go out. And that's why I think the matchup's really important. Who comes to College Station in this regional? What does the 4 seed have to do on the mound? I think that's a huge discussion point.
Thank you, Bronny.
Yep.
All right, Brian Kortan on the other side. Talk a little men's golf as they're getting ready for the championships. Right now, a moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. If you are looking for a selection that won't break the bank, Caldwell Country Chevrolet is stocking up on new vehicles all the time, and their inventory is always growing, and they're south of those big city prices, which means no dealer add-ons. What you see is what you pay. Their locally owned Aggie alumni team is ready to roll out the red carpet for you, so when you go there, you know you're getting a great deal. And remember that every vehicle purchase comes with that free oil change for life, as long as you own that vehicle from Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Don't wait. These deals do not last forever. It's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. A short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the good people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. We are back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Got Brian Kortan here in studio after a great week last week at Traditions, and now moving on to the next part of the championships. Coach Kortan, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So let's kind of look back, look ahead, do it all together here. What did you think about what you saw from your guys last week?
Yeah, it's hosting. I mean, hosting in regionals, it's a blessing and a curse, sort of, in a way, because it's a different feeling than you usually have at your own golf course, and there's expectations to deal with. There's more auxiliary noise than there would be on the road. There's just things that that are a little different. But the overwhelming blessing is that you're playing in a familiar environment in terms of the golf course, and your ability to create a comfortable space for you to play in. Our guys did a heck of a job at that. They got pretty comfortable pretty quick. And when they did that, I felt really good about how that was going to go. And they did a great job finishing, second and shooting an incredible score. Golf course got a little soft. Weather was pretty good, but just in general, they did a heck of a job.
When you're describing that, it sounds like when you host a party, right? Like you can't really enjoy your party. You got a lot of things going on, but at the end of the day, you get to go to bed in your own bed. So, and also, I'm sure the fan support was fantastic.
Yeah, families got to get out for some of the guys that are more local, and we have great support at Traditions, and some administrators got out to see us play a little bit. I mean, we do it once a year. I mean, even when we don't host a regional, we have our Aggie Invitational that's usually in April as well. So once a year we get to play a home deal. So that's not something you get used to, which is different than most sports.
Right.
Like if you're, like Coach Earley or Coach Elko and Tricia, all those coaches, they have several home events, so they're used to being home, and it's a little different golf. But yeah, just being home and being comfortable, own bed, knowing where to eat, kind of cleans everything up pretty quick.
Wheaton Ennis finished second individually, shooting 67 in his final couple rounds. Just talk to me about his performance.
Yeah, not surprised at all. Going in, I knew we'd played several times that week, and he was in a pretty good space, as were the other guys. So they were, like I said, they maintained their ability to get comfortable out there, which is really important. I mean, you can't overestimate what that takes. But his growth and development this year has been tremendous. Earned for sure. He puts in the time, and he's very diligent and owns what he's trying to do, which would be great. So you get that kind of guy at the top of the board or top of our group, and there's a couple others that are just like that too. So it's really nice to see, and really proud of him for his growth and his diligence to his craft. So it's been great to see.
Chris had a bit of a comeback this past week. Talk to me about what he did. What clicked at Traditions for Chris?
I just think the world has calmed down a little bit. Got rid of some school, and we've been coaching him pretty hard, and I think he's just kind of slowly gained some confidence. He's a really good player. It's not shocking to us that he's put those scores together at all, because of what he's able to do and how he can repeat and do things over and over and over again. And very happy that he put that week together, and obviously proud of him for doing that, but also for the other guys and Coach Fast for pushing him and staying on him to let him know that he's valuable to us, and that they knew that kind of golf was in there.
Shiv tied for 8th, closing 6 under 66, including 32 on the back 9, had an eagle as well. Very nice performance.
Yeah, freshman, not really highly recruited. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's a name.
Your guy?
Yeah. No, just he really did a good job this year. He's had several great finishes for us. He's kind of got an infectious energy and plays with a chip on his shoulder. But yeah, it's nice to see him do the things that he's done, knowing what's in front of him, and knowing that he's just getting started here. But yeah, he's grown a little bit this year. He's had some lessons to learn, and he's learning those, and he's owning those as well. And I think that's paying dividends not only on the golf course but off.
Good mix of collection of veterans and young guys too helps for the now and then also in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Like we had workouts this morning, and it was Jaime's last workout with us, so that's 4 years of workouts. But yeah, it's kind of, you get to kind of see some of that and how it transpires, and it's hard to think that he was really about the first guy that we signed. Might have been the first guy that we signed when I was trying to get the job as an interim head coach. So for him to be here all 4 years and and be a very sound and solid contributor in the locker room and on the course has been, it's been great to have him, and so it's fun. Yeah, old and new.
Well, tell us his story a little bit for those who don't know him, because I mean he has been a very consistent guy for you.
Yeah, I mean he's played well. He would he would tell you that he hasn't maybe accomplished the things he wanted to accomplish, but he's been really solid for us in times and has really shot some really good scores for us when we've needed him. Mm-hmm. He's had some really nice regional performances. I mean he's won the Aggie. He's done some things. He probably would say he's a little not upset, but frustrated that he wasn't able to get a little more consistent with those higher end finishes. But his growth has been great, and his buy-in for a kid that came from Madrid, and really committed to sight unseen, because it was during COVID. I got to know him over the phone. Over the phone and Zoom calls. So for him to put that kind of trust in who we are and what Texas A&M was, and it's really been a blessing to have him as part of this team.
You like the way you all are trending?
Yeah, I like where we're at. I think we don't have this secret formula, but our guys, they dig it out of the dirt. They dig it out of the dirt all year long. So I think we do see a constant growth. We hit some bumps in the road here and there, but the growth and the togetherness that they show up with every day has been it's really been a great thing for us this spring, and it's really showed in the results that we've got as a team and even individually for several guys.
How much pride do you take in the consistency of the program? Five straight years going to Carlsbad.
Yeah, man, I don't even really think too much about that.
You're just in the here and now.
Unfortunately, as a coach, I don't really look back at too much, but I'm for sure proud that we just talked about Jaime, that this will be his 4th time to a national championship, and Aaron, this will be his 3rd time. So we've got some guys that have been there and will continue to go. But we try hard to get talented, good guys here and coach them the best we can. And we hope it leads us to where we want to go, which is chances at the bigger trophies at the end of the year. And we've been able to do that, which is really cool. And I think that's something that Coach Fast and I really are proud of in terms of the guys that we bring in and how they come together. And throughout a year, they just constantly grow and get better and better. So I think that's really important, and that's kind of who we are.
Can it be overwhelming to go in your first couple years, like for young players, or is it it's golf?
I think it's when they first see it, they'll be there and they'll be like, "Wow, this is pretty awesome."
Yeah.
But when you get right down to it, you put the tee in the ground and you do your job, and these guys are really attentive to that job. They know what they want to do and how to go about it to get the job done. And when they play well, they know it. They've earned it. And when they have a rough day, they get back to it and they think about what they need to do better and recreate the confidence maybe in some practice or some work or some conversation. But yeah, no, they've been playing good golf courses their whole life. That's what they do. So to get there and play another good golf course, yeah, they're playing against other guys and some really, the elite amateurs of the world will be here this week.
Yeah.
So they know what they're playing up against, but in the end of the day, it's their job to put a score on the card that helps us and gets us to where we want to go, and they're really focused on that.
What's your schedule when you head out tomorrow?
We head out to San Diego tomorrow. We'll play a golf course at San Diego on Wednesday just to kind of get acclimated to the time zone and stuff, and then practice on Thursday morning is like 6:45 in the morning. So they get us up and going early. It's a big field, so we play early, but we'll tee it off 6:45 Thursday morning for our first round.
In your estimation, what does it take to be successful at this level?
Well, based on how we've done it the last few years, it's really minimizing mistakes in terms of not compounding errors. And there's a couple stretches on this golf course that you really have to hold yourself accountable and really hit good shots. You can make bogeys everywhere out there. It's that kind of place, but there's a few shots and a few holes out there that really require some specific spot shots and control your golf ball. And if you handle those well as a team, you'll have a chance.
Okay. Awesome, Coach. Thank you very much. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
See you soon. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back, find out what's popping on TexAgs today. Then Billy Liucci on the phone right now. Milliken Reserve, they're a farm-to-table community in College Station. They've got homes, they've got trails, they've got wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. 2,600 acres of open space, 30 miles of trails. They got homes. They got beautiful areas all over the place with an extensive network of trails throughout a wooded landscape. This includes walking and equestrian paths, creeks, ponds, and gathering areas. You can go hiking there. You can go biking. You can go canoeing. You can do it all. You can go to the equestrian trails, the evening yoga, the summer camps, and the music festivals. Check out the website to learn more about a Conservancy membership, MillikenReserve.com. That website again, MillikenReserve.com. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls, reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. We go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Matthew Coughlin, get us caught up on what's popping on TexAgs today.
Will do. So we talk some baseball. Richard will have who A&M will be playing and where they are going to be placed, along with a rapid reaction after the selection show, which is about 11 a.m. The Huddle with Kendall Jackson, and plenty of stuff for our premium subscribers, including but not limited to Jason Howell with some updated recruiting news for the opening DFW Regional.
As a reminder, go get your tickets to our preseason kickoff. Always a fun event. Hopefully you can make it out to there. I'll have all the coaches talking. It'll be great. And I highly recommend, if you're a premium subscriber, signing up for that. All right, let's get a message or two on here before we hit a break here. And scene. Let's get a message or two.
So the San Antonio Spurs even up the Western Conference Finals with 103 points, and the Thunder only 82, which was their season low.
So what is this Wemby miracle shot he hit? Was it like I didn't see any of the game.
It was about, let's say, 5 feet in front of half court.
Okay.
That was game 3, I believe.
Okay.
Hit a deep 3, which, funny enough, was the possession after he missed a tip-in and then just decided to launch it.
He hit a half-court shot at halftime yesterday.
That's what I thought. I thought he hit one yesterday. Okay.
Yeah. So that's 2, basically, half quarters in back-to-back games.
Let me guess. He's done that more than any player in the history of the NBA. Wemby. San Antonio fans listening, congratulations. You got yourself a guy. All right, we'll hit a break. When we come back on TexAgs Live, Billy Liucci on a mobile. That and more is TexAgs.
Howdy, this is Texas A&M pitcher Aiden Sims. You're listening to TexAgs Live.
We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is a Monday morning. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. Let's go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. This is where we find our executive editor and co-owner, Billy Liucci, who's going to join us on the phone for a little bit. And I think he's going to try to join us tomorrow for a little bit as well. Billy, good morning, buddy.
Mr. Nuño.
How are you, bud?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Couldn't be better. Our baseball team could be better. That top 8 national seed is certainly in jeopardy.
Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, man, I think we as an entity and everyone else are making too much of it at this point. It's like all I've read is how it's in jeopardy for 5 days, and they went out and lost one game. And I'm not saying that's inaccurate. They're probably going to, you can tell where the committee is trending with it. You can tell there's enough being said. There's enough projections from people that talk to people on the committee. It's very obvious that they're going to not put them in a super regional. I think just if you follow this stuff long enough, but I want the home series. Potentially, this team's still got to get out of a regional, and I don't care wherever they're seated, they're going to have their work cut out for them to get out of a regional. They certainly can get out of any regional that they're handed, but it's not going to come easy. Nor is it going to come easy for any team that gets Texas A&M in their super regional. I mean, look, I know what the pitching situation is. I know that we got to see if Aiden Sims comes back after a couple weeks off and looks like the Aiden Sims that we saw all year. If he does, who wants to see A&M on their home field coming in to play them? I mean, with that lineup, and we can do this whole thing and say, well, they didn't score a run against Auburn. They're not trending well. How many runs did they score in the 2 games prior against Mississippi State, a regional host? I mean, to me, at the end of the day, like, I think Florida's likely. I don't know that they are. I think they're likely to have stolen one of those top 8. Within the last few weeks, A&M went out there and won 2 out of 3. Mississippi State's a regional host. A&M won 2 out of 3. Auburn is going to be a top 8 seed as well, obviously. A&M, within the past month, lost 2 out of 3, with the third game being, or the second game, the second loss being a 1-run game. We know their flaws. We know their where they're questionable, where their weaknesses are. But at the end of the day, first of all, I think they deserve a top 8 seed. It's weird to me, David, how all of a sudden we're worried. In basketball, the conference tournament doesn't matter at all. In baseball, it apparently does. If A&M falls out of the top 8, which I think we're all kind of bracing ourselves for and expecting, a lot was made about they needed to win in Hoover. They needed to win in Hoover. Well, I thought it didn't affect Mississippi State that they went 0-1. Or they were 1-1. It didn't affect Mississippi State that they didn't advance, but it does A&M when they get. So it's a weird deal when you're playing a 55-game schedule and it feels like you're going into that tournament needing to do this or that. But it's okay. Like I'm going to have issues with if Southern Miss is ahead of A&M. I'm going to have issues with a couple of teams, but in the SEC, I think it was. I think it was Bronny told me, the Aggies, if they're third in the SEC, and I said, yeah, and they're also potentially a rainout away from being second. Had they beaten Texas that Sunday with all the momentum in the world, be second. But if you see Auburn get in ahead of them, Alabama and Florida, right? If those teams get in ahead of them, they're all within a half a game or a game in the standings. Auburn beat A&M. A&M beat Florida. It's just, it's a tough one right there to me. it's tough to go too crazy on. When you look at all the metrics and stuff, though, I think A&M should be in that top 8. I think we all kind of are assuming they're not going to get in there, and I think it's BS by the committee if that happens. I almost would feel like, is this committee judging A&M based on their resume or based on feel of what they think is going to happen because they've had such pitching issues of late?
Billy, I brought up to Coach Earley, and I mean, nothing that he doesn't know and that you don't know, though, that the team that we're probably going to get at the regional is a different team than we've seen the last 3 weeks, right? With the return of Aiden Sims, with Nico's return, shuffling of the lineup, shuffling of where positions a little bit more close to the team that we saw for 90% of this season.
Yeah, that's a great point too, and it's also why I'm not scared. I'm as scared of them getting out of a regional as I am not scared of them in a super. It's not at home, and that really stinks for the fans. And this is if, but I'm assuming at this point, right? But it's not. It would be. It's I think BS for the players and the coaching staff, because I think they over almost 60 games earned their way in with their resume. But if they're not, this team can go on the road and win 2 out of 3. They can also lose their regional because they're a flawed team. They're not a perfect team. And I don't think there are many of those in the SEC right now. Who are you scared of to be matched up with in Super? Maybe Auburn to me, because they seem to have A&M's number. To me, in that, if I'm looking at a potential top 8 that A&M's not a part of, the other teams have their things too. I wouldn't love Texas, just because it'd be a little frustrating if A&M's already beaten them back to back, and to go back there and with a pitcher like Volantis. But to me, it's okay. I mean, I watched A&M get clubbed by Mississippi State and win a series. I watched them drop a game to Florida's ace and come back and win a series in Gainesville. We watched them lose to Auburn in emphatic fashion in Game 1, and Game 2 and 3 were one-run games that they split. So I think those things. That's why it doesn't have me running scared at all of them going on the road and playing. I think it would be, if it happens, it's just kind of it's a slight A, and B, it's, you could get those Bluebell Park advantage, which obviously is massive, and also you still might be there. You never know how regionals go. Do we not remember hosting Davidson at a Super? Do we not remember last year when UCLA thought they would be for sure going to Austin to play the SEC champion Longhorns, and instead played at home versus UTSA? So I just think the focus for them is they got to get out of. We'll see who their super regional matchup is one way or the other. But I'm way more interested and curious as to who the regional matchup is against and what that field looks like. I'm really interested in that 4th seed. I'm really interested in the 4th seed, and then also who, we had a big flying. I'm really interested in that 4th seed, and then obviously who the 2-3 are and how they get matched up. That's got way more intrigue to me today than who they'd be potentially playing in a Super, and where. The reason why I kind of assume the where part will be not in College Station. So because of that, I'm just like, show me who this regional is, because this team needs to play well at home, and they earn that. And that's something that, there's something to be said for that, for a team picked 13th in the SEC and a team that didn't make the field last year, and they're hosting the regional. So you want to host that, box check. Now you want to win that, box check, and then we'll see who they got potentially in the next round, and we can break that all down starting here in a few hours.
Billy, my thing is, look, obviously I would much rather them get a top 8 seed and host the Super Regional. Obviously, who wouldn't? But no matter if they're at home or away, to me, it's going to come down to the pitching, right? Because I don't think the offense is going to get blanked again. And maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not worried about the offense wherever they are, on the road or at home. To me, it comes down to how healthy is Aiden Sims, how does Ethan Darden do, how does Shane Sadeo do, and the rest of the crew.
Yeah, and I think Sadeo and Moss, it's so funny that prior to the year, that was my big question mark, was the two guys that were going to be 2 or 3 weekend starters, and one coming off Tommy John and one making a move from the bullpen for the first time. And after everything that's gone on this year, you still might be looking at it as, are those two guys, I know you can go and you've got, obviously, if you've got a normal and good Sims and Fresh Corn, they've been outstanding all year. Lyons has been really good. But it still might come down to what can Sadeo and Moss give you in terms of this team's ability to truly advance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it. It's still, even with their struggles and even with how things have gone this year, it still might come down to, can those guys come out and get that?
Am I losing you, Billy?
Well, there's like crowd noise in the background. Are y'all putting video over?
Yeah, Kay did it. It was so loud too. So if Kay can turn it down a tad bit, I couldn't hear what you were closing out with there on that thought.
I just said it still, ironically enough, may come down to those guys, which would be really fascinating. But they're no longer at the top of the list when you talk about the pitchers in terms of what they've done this year and what they've meant to the team's success. They've had their moments, but far less than we were expecting, or than I think some people were expecting. But I still think there's a chance. Like if A&M makes a run, I think we're going to look back and at least one of those two is going to have come out and thrown really well more than once, whether that be out of the bullpen or as a starter.
Well, Billy, I think both Sadeo and Moss in this situation that I'm thinking of here, these are, and maybe even Ethan Darden too. There have been times when they have taken a start and I'm like, oh man, like in my mind, I'm like, they haven't looked good recently. And they seem to have had that, I don't know if magic's the right way to phrase it, but just a moment where like, okay, I see where we're going with this. And I still think Sadeo's got a final act. I still think that Weston Moss has another one, and Ethan Darden. I mean, maybe it's wishful thinking on my end, but I feel like they have represented themselves well when we have kind of doubted them at times.
Well, look, remember, I mean, in your regional, the hope in a regional is that they're going to be pitching either against a 4 seed or against a 2-3. If again, this is a big if on Stem, but they can be going against a 4 seed or a 2-3 that played an extra game on a Sunday. That second game is so big always, but I think for this A&M team, more so than probably most teams in this field, that are 1 is an absolute must that they win that second game. But I mean, again, I think we're I think there's so much in the last week that I've read and seen from our fan base, from even our own side, but certainly others that cover it. It's like everyone has fallen into this top 8 seed doomsday watch. And I mean, I understand, like, we're trying to track it and cover it, but it just feels like it's so. It creates this, like, we're gonna judge our hopes and dreams exclusively on whether or not this team gets a top 8 seed, and I just think that's the wrong way to do it if you follow this sport and if you follow this team who has gone on the road and played well in a lot of series, in a lot of instances. So I just don't think it's the be-all, end-all, but it is something you monitor and follow and keep track of. But it just feels so like oh no, they're not going to get it. Oh no, this bracket has them at this. Oh no, Florida won. Oh no, Southern Miss keeps winning. And it just, again, like, I just think it's just been almost too much put on it from the standpoint of they're going to have a chance to win regardless if they get adequate pitching. And I know the bats can have their moments where they don't score a lot of runs. That's every team in college baseball. I mean, we're raving about Auburn, who I think looks like the best team A&M's played all year, even more so than Georgia, who just won the thing. But we're raving about Auburn, and they have a lot of games where they don't score a bunch of runs. So it happens to everyone. But A&M, like, even if it happens within a series or on a weekend, they have pretty much always bounced back and started to slug. So even if they do run into a top-tier pitcher, in a super and lose a game, they're liable to slug in the other two. I mean, so I think this team's got a real chance. It hinges to me on what Aiden Sims can give you. I think if Sims is just, if he's unable to go like 4 innings or something, 3-4 innings on a Saturday, you better hope that you're hitting this coming weekend like crazy. That would be my concern. If Sims is normal Sims in the 2 weeks of rest, lets him, grit his teeth and get through 2 Aiden Sims style starts, this team has a chance to get to Omaha.
Billy, got one more segment in you?
Because they have a great chance, David, to win a game 2 with him with quality Aiden Sims on the bump. It's going to make it really difficult for somebody to win at Bluebell coming out of the losers bracket. And then they'd have a great chance to win one of 2 in a super against anyone, anywhere. And then if you put it up to a game 3 with this lineup and both teams, third pitcher or bullpen, whatever, we've seen how that one goes for A&M against some really good teams this year. What have they done in game 3s this year? Georgia 18-5 or whatever. They beat Auburn. They beat LSU on the road. They beat Florida on the road in a game 5 handily. Game 3, I mean. When this team gets going in a third game, they can be hell on wheels. So anyway, I think so much of this is Aiden Sims driven, more so to me than where the game's going to be played.
All right, let's do another one on the other side, Billy, all right? Okay, thanks. Way to break. We'll come back, I think, with more with Billy. Right now in Texas, your HVAC system is not a luxury. It's starting to get hot out there, guys. When you need it, service matters, who you call, how you call them. Maybe not the how, but there's certainly who you call. And that's the Daily Company, a locally owned and operated company that takes real pride in serving the community. Their HVAC department does provide comprehensive service, including repair, maintenance, and full system installation. So if your AC stops working right now, right, it's the end of May, early June, whatever it may be, and it gets super hot, you want to make sure you have somebody who can come over there. A technician is going to take care of it immediately. They have emergency HVAC repair because breakdowns never happen at a convenient time. Their team works with all the major brands from Lennox to Trane to Goodman to Rheem to Honeywell to Daikin to Amana. So no matter what system you guys are running, they'll take care of it. And at a Daily Company, they stand behind their work and they treat every home like it's their very own. Contact the Daily Company today at 979-260-2020. That's 979-2060-2020. Stay comfortable year-round with a local team that you can trust. You can visit them at godaily.com and experience the daily difference. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We go back to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We're joined by Billy Liucci, the executive editor and co-owner of TexAgs. Billy, got a text from Kay. Got some cool news that Nana Bodie Owosu is now on full scholarship. So number 12 getting a full scholarship.
That's awesome. He has worked his butt off since getting to A&M. And to go from, walk on to the 12th man to, he's a guy that could be seeing the field at a lot of other places and sitting here, at a playoff team, and a projected preseason top 10 team, and he's fighting for what he can get in that DN rotation. And look, he now on scholarship. That's cool. He deserves it. He's one of the really good, high character dudes in that program. There's a lot of them nowadays, and he's one that really stands out. Just I think a really good representative to the 12th man. Just how just everything he's about, in terms of Texas A&M and that locker room and being part of that team.
So I saw this post from On3, and I'm going to read it to you and just get your thoughts. I haven't read the article because it's under a paywall, but I know OB is on his way to Destin as we speak. SEC spring meetings kick off with the CFP format war brewing, potential fines for comments aimed at Ole Miss, and $100 million in NIL deals in limbo. Everything is on the table, one SEC AD said. So this could be a really big news week for the SEC, Billy.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see. This is an important few days for Greg Sankey, right? And just how he presents and how strong is he going to be on this playoff front, first of all. I think we all know there's no desire there on his end anyway to go to 2014. I'm sure some of the conference is split. I don't believe what Joel Klatt said for a second. In fact, I know it's not true. He said every coach in AD is on board with it. That's not true at all. But I do think there's kind of some others in that league, coach-wise at least, that are probably like, whatever, the more the merrier. Let us get in there and win. I mean, that's how a lot of coaches think. But I do think it's split. And I think Sankey, how he presents himself this week will be really significant. NIL stuff is fascinating as well.
Well, Bill, I almost feel like we're at I don't know if tipping point or a breaking point, but it feels like this offseason compared to the others where it is moving in a direction that we are going to get some change. And I say that when the House settlement last year was happening, when we all felt this change was coming. But I feel like there's more and more chatter about hey, we can't keep doing what we're doing. Now, it may just be off-season chatter, but it feels like we're moving in that direction.
Absolutely, it does. I mean,
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, buddy.
I muted you. Accidentally. So, no, I agree with you, man. I think, and it's a good thing ultimately to get some guideline, a little, more guidelines and stability and more stability and guidelines just to kind of where everyone can at least be on the same page with what they can do. But I do think they need to get it right. There's all this money. I don't understand how that comes off if a lot of these schools are unable to pay what they promised because of a rule that's been put in place. It just, I think they got to be careful how they do that. And then maybe after set it up in such a way that beginning with, next year's football teams, hey, this is, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to try to do this year, right now, just to kind of, make it just a straight up, hey, this is how it's going to be, and it's that. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yep. Billy, I'm going to, if you don't mind, before we break here, go through ESPN's top 10 must-see games. Do you want to hear all top 10, or do you want me just to give you the ones that I think you'd be interested in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Number 10. I'm not sure if you're interested. You'll watch it, but I'm not sure if you care. North Dakota State versus UNLV.
I mean, I'd like to watch it if it's on a Friday night.
Right. That's what I figured. But this next one, I think you. Please.
Give me your coffee.
Yeah. I just wanted to answer that lady who asked for your coffee. Number 9 on the list.
Yeah.
Houston at Texas Tech, September the 18th. That Friday game that Texas Tech was so upset about.
Friday, yeah, I'd watch that. Connor Wigman, Willie Fritz. I mean, if Houston were to somehow win that one with the team I think they have, that might put them into the Big 12 title game. That's going to depend probably on BYU. Right now, it looks like BYU and Tech as the favorites. But if Houston or Arizona State are able to upend Tech, I think they could thrust themselves right into it.
Number 8, I know you'll be watching. You'll be in attendance. Texas at Texas A&M on November the 27th.
Yeah, a little interested in that one. And hopefully when the season's over with, that one will rank a lot higher.
Yep.
Hopefully when the season's over, that one will be, we'll realize that's a lot more important, much like it was this past year. Although I think this year, if I was a betting man, I would say it's going to matter quite a bit for both teams in terms of maybe playoff seeding, and maybe, it might be one where A&M has to win it at home to get in. It might be one where, the winner is going to Atlanta. It very well could be that again. So, yeah, I think that one would rank higher when it's all said and done.
Okay. This next one I know you'll be interested in. Oklahoma at Michigan on September the 12th.
Very interested because I think Michigan should be a lot better this year, which is weird to say when it's year one of a new coach in Whittingham, but it's year 2 of Underwood. I think Whittingham's a stud coach, and I think Michigan wasn't that good last year. So I think they'll be better, and it's in the Big House. So, yeah, I want to see how OU fares in that matchup because I'll be very interested with that being a future A&M opponent, a team that a lot of people have getting back to the playoffs as well.
Another Big Ten game, Oregon at Ohio State, November the 7th.
Always. I mean, that's become must-see TV in college football. It just has. I mean, give credit to Dan Lanning for making it that way. But, yeah, I think that's must-see TV out of the Big Ten.
Number 5, Georgia at Alabama on October the 10th.
Yeah, I mean, again, an A&M opponent. We're trying to figure out how tough this schedule really is. Can Kirby Smart finally beat? Can Kirby Smart finally beat Kalen DeBoer? Can they? In the regular season, can they clip Bama? 0-2 in the regular season. I think what he did to him in Atlanta this year is a sign of things to come, and I think Georgia will win that one. I think that one will go lower on the list, whereas I said I think A&M and Texas would be higher.
Number 4, Miami at Notre Dame, the rematch.
Love that one. Absolutely love that one. In South Bend, are you kidding me? The Hurricanes going up there after what happened last year. Carr versus Mensa. That's going to be a really good one. I think Notre Dame, again, do they have to have that game? I mean, you saw what happened last year. I mean, obviously at 11-1 with a loss to Miami, they're going to get in. But, you play that whole season. Is this a situation where they have to win because otherwise they have to go 11-0 in their other 11 just to get in the playoffs? So it is going to be that will certainly be one that rates way up there. Hell, it might be higher than 4.
The last 3, I'll try to go through these quickly. Ohio State at Indiana on October the 17th.
Love that one. I mean, I think if Indiana can beat Ohio State twice in a row, I know they're the national champs, Ohio State were the national, and they're the Big Ten champs. Ohio State were the national champs the year before. You got the back-to-back, the last two national champions. That'll be the biggest game ever played at Indiana. If they can beat Ohio State, they can lay claim to being the premier program in the Big Ten Conference, which is a crazy, crazy thing to think about or say. So
We've got number 2, Ohio State at Texas. That's obviously an early matchup.
Yeah, that should be way the hell up there, because on the one hand, if they're both as good as people are saying, and if Arch is going to be as good as people expect and say, and they've got all these first rounders, then the game might not matter as much as some of these other ones, because the losing team, it can still there's a couple paths to get in. Number one is either one of those teams is getting in at 10-2, and then the other side of that is winning your conference. And this is not a conference game, so I think it carries a little less weight. But the spectacle of it and the SEC Big Ten brewing rivalry, I mean, that's going to be the biggest matchup between the two teams in the two conferences in the regular season. And again, the winner of that game might be number one for a while, whereas Ohio State may, at least till they go play Indiana or Oregon. And then in the case, it is a big one for Ohio State though too. When you look at their schedule, when it includes an improved Michigan and Oregon and Indiana, and then you look at Texas, and they've got A&M, and they've got some of these games. They've got to go to LSU. They've got OU. They've got to go to Knoxville. Like, you don't want to have an early September loss, no matter how good you're expected to be, because of the conferences these two teams play in, and because both of them have a tougher schedule than I think they've had in years past.
And then the last one, Billy, LSU at Ole Miss on September the 19th. We know all the storylines in this one.
I'm so glad that A&M is playing right after that against Ole Miss. Against LSU. I love that timing of that one, because that is going to be the most emotionally charged, I think, football game I've ever seen in terms of fan base and the coach, and just the theater of it all. It's going to be absolutely incredible, in the intensity. And by the way, two teams that are playoff contenders, one more so than the other. I believe in Ole Miss, but damn, that is going to be one hell of a spectacle to watch. And I guess that's the week A&M. Is that the week A&M plays Kentucky? So hopefully those, I think it is, hopefully those times don't conflict and we can all enjoy that one.
Billy, I appreciate you. You're going to come in tomorrow, right?
Yep. We find out their seating here in a few, and then we have a lot to talk about for sure.
Thank you, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right.
See ya. Billy Liucci there on the Puppies Catering and Bartending Hotline. All right, what we'll do is we'll hit a break. We'll come back, chit-chat for a moment. We'll probably run one of our Houston Thomas interview from NIL from this past week, and then we'll just get to some text messages and comments to close out the program. But right now, we're talking about Frutella in Bryan. Billy loves Frutella. I love Frutella. They're a family-owned restaurant. They're all about fresh, homemade cooking and crafted with love every single day. They have daily lunch specials from 11 to 3. Warm and an inviting atmosphere. Frutella Italian Cafe, the perfect spot to unwind during your lunch break. If you love pizza, that's the place to go. Don't forget the desserts there as well. Homemade cheesecake, tiramisu, or the sweet Frutella dusted with powdered sugar and filled with rich flavor. They can even cater your next event, no matter the occasion, big or small, from birthdays to holidays, you name it, they got you. It is Frutella Cafe, 3901 South Texas Avenue in Bryan, and discover why it's more than a meal. It's a tradition. It is Frutella. Little oasis for you in the background. TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. All right, so I'm going to answer this question that came in earlier from Trey and Shiner. First off, I'll read the question, then I'm going to ask both Kate and Matthew if they know who I'm even talking about. Trey and Shiner says, David, have you had any dealings with Jim Rome? Loved his show back in the day. Do you guys know who Jim Rome is? And if you do, what do you know about Jim Rome? You don't know.
Bickham, that's all you, man. I have no idea.
So the name sounds familiar, but I think it's because you've mentioned him before. I don't. You're gonna have to refresh my memory.
All right, here, I'm gonna go old man yelling at the clouds. What sucks about your generation, guys, is you guys don't know jack about like legends from the past. Okay, like okay, Cade will know. We'll see. Howard Cosell, familiar? How the hell do you not know who Howard? Cade?
Howard who?
Cosell.
Cosell.
Oh my God.
No.
How the hell do you guys work in sports and not know Howard Cosell?
I know him by his picture.
Okay, no Googling. I'm going to continue this down this path. All right, are you Googling, Bickham?
Well,
you can Google after, not
yes,
before.
I'm Googling
okay?
after, yes.
I'm just going to throw out random names, okay? Thurman Thomas.
That name sounds familiar, yes.
What do we know about him?
He's a football player.
What team?
Bills.
Correct. Did you know that, Bickham? Tell the truth.
Did not know that, no.
Okay, all right. Vinny Testaverde. Don't Google.
Yes, football player, quarterback.
What school?
Ooh.
You saw.
I want to say Florida State for some reason.
Where did he quarterback at? Give me that.
Buccaneers, right?
He did have a run with the Buccaneers. Yes, you're correct about that. And the Jets and a couple other places. All right, so far you're doing all right. Let me try again. Let me think of people that matter. Buster Douglas.
Yes.
Who is he?
He a boxer. He beat Mike Tyson, yeah?
Did you know that? You didn't know that. You didn't know that.
Boxing is definitely not my forte.
Michael Spinks.
That name also sounds familiar, but I couldn't tell you who he is.
Okay.
Bickham's lying. He has no idea who that is.
Patrick Swayze. Nothing to do with sports, by the way.
Well, yes. Point Break.
Okay.
Patrick Swayze.
Have you seen
I've
Point Break?
definitely heard of that
Point
name.
Break, Roadhouse, Dirty Dancing.
Okay. All right, let me try another one. This might not be fair, but I'm just going to say it. Dale Hansen.
No.
Babe Laufenberg.
Mm-mm.
These are just made up names.
No, these are not made up names. Those are legit. You can Google both of them. Okay. All right. Let's see. Tone Loc.
Say that again.
Tone Loc.
Nope.
No?
Oh, rapper?
Yeah. You say it like, yeah. All right, fine. Waylon Jennings?
Yes.
Who?
Country music artist.
Did you know that? You didn't.
I know Waylon Wyatt.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
Willie and Waylon. You know?
Okay, fine. Garth Travis.
Garth Brooks.
Okay, you got me. I was trying to do a fakie on him. Anyway, I thought that was fun. I'm done with it. Paul Tagliabue.
That's a fake player.
That's not a fake player. Faye Vincent.
Chad Powers.
Chad Powers, he's from that TV show. Paul Tagliabue was a longtime NFL commissioner. You guys don't. I know stuff from before, and I'm dumb. I don't remember anything. And I know stuff about before. Okay. If I don't, you go first. Ricky Henderson.
I go first?
You go first, not him.
Baseball player.
Okay. What is he known for?
Still base.
All right, you can stay in the show. All right, fine. Mike Scott.
The basketball player?
No, I know this one too, actually.
Because there is a basketball player named Mike Scott.
Is he famous?
He played for like 15 years.
Mike Scott, the basketball player?
Yeah.
Did he just make this up?
I don't know if he did, honestly. Mike Scott, I know that Mike Scott.
I used to know the NBA like a lot.
Mike Scott, Houston Astros pitcher, Cy Young Award winner, correct?
I don't know if he won the Cy Young, but he was definitely a Houston Astros pitcher. Like, did he play in like the G League or something? Who is Mike Scott, the NBA player? Is he a Bulls player? Is that why you know him?
No, he played 555 games, Atlanta, Washington, Clippers, Philly. Over like 10 seasons.
All right. Anyway, I'm done with both of you. The question was about Jim Rome. Jim Rome in the mid-90s was the biggest sports talk radio host in the world. Okay? He had The Jungle. He's still, I think he's on Twitter. My boy Philip still watches him. On Twitter. I think he's on Twitter. He's on a lot of places, whatever. But he was the biggest. He was, for lack of a better term, Joe Rogan for sports talk at that time. The biggest name in the world, all right? And he used to do, do you have breaking news? What are you doing? What are you doing, Kate? A lot of movement going on back there.
I'm just stretching my forearm
My
out.
God, you were like you were pointing at a screen, like, but you had like
you're bringing off-air stuff on air as
Stop
Brawny.
talking like Brawny. All right, like I mean, anywho, it's Memorial Day. Have a memorable Memorial Day, by the way. All right, anywho, he was the biggest name in the world, and he's not the reason, but a big reason I went into this industry. In the mid-'90s, he used to do these, what do you call it, tour stops, where he'd take his radio show on the road, and he came to Houston. I believe this was 1995 or 1996, and he went to the to the race park, whatever that race park's called, Sam Houston Race Park. And I did get to meet him. Quick hello, very nice guy. Stopped listening to his show. I got stale to me, like maybe in 98, 99, 2000, somewhere around that time. So that is my encounter with Jim Rome. But I'm pretty sure that the Zone broadcasted his show for like 20 years, right, when he was on at lunch. So that's who Jim Rome is. I'm glad I gave the kids in here a history lesson. Anyway, do you have anything you want to add before we hit a break?
That was good. Well,
thank you.
You know, Bickham and I don't know anything in the media world from 1990 to 1995, so that will be your expertise. And
okay, hold on. So, like, Howard Cosell was before my time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know, like, Vince Scully.
Well, yes, he's a legend.
That's before my time.
But Howard Cosell is known as, I believe, like, the greatest sportscaster. Do you know who Bob Costas is?
Mm-hmm.
Who is he?
Yankees play-by-play baseball.
Is he Yankees? Does he do that?
I recall.
I he was a national guy.
I think he did didn't he do...
He's a national guy.
He did. He was national.
Well, he did. I thought he had like a Yankees bias because I know last year
he might have a Yankees bias, but I don't know him as like a play-by-play. I thought Bob Costas had like a talk show, like that was he interviewed everybody, and Bob Costas was like did the NBA and did like he's like, but maybe he did the Yankees too. I didn't know.
Well, I know Michael Kay is their normal.
Yeah, Michael Kay on the pecking order of Hall of Fame broadcast. Michael Kay is a Hall of Fame broadcaster, I assume, or will be. He is like in like the aisle where you're looking for like I don't know, treats, and Bob Costas would be in like at Costco, like where the refrigerators and like the electronics. Right, here's your little sunflower seed section. That would be Michael Kay, and then Bob Costas would be in the electronics. I'm just gonna hit a break because I think we just cost every listener we ever had. Partially because I allowed it to continue, partially because we have 9-year-olds apparently that have never read sports history. From East Texas to DFW, we're talking Guarantee Bank and Trust, by the way. From Houston to the Hill Country and right here in Bryan College Station, Guarantee Bank and Trust has got 33 great locations all across the great state of Texas, and every single one of them operates the same way. Local decisions, local people, local heart. That's rare these days. Most banks have gotten so big that they forgot what it actually means to serve a community. They're a community bank there at Guarantee Bank and Trust. They're committed to Texas since 1913, so over 100 years of commitment to this level, to this community. And they want to grow stronger for their communities, not just a tagline. It's how they define what to fund, who to support, and where to show up. Financial education, home ownership, small business, local nonprofits. They're in it for the long haul, and they've got Market President Brandon Sears, who's awesome. He's an Aggie. Tell them that you heard about him here on TexAgs. Come experience a true Texas community bank. Go see Brandon at Guarantee Bank and Trust and his team there. Visit the website, gnty.com. That's gnty.com. Guarantee Bank and Trust, a division of Glacier Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. I got a minute left on the show, so since we lost every viewer and listener possible with the people's lack of knowledge about just random stuff they should know, we're going to close out the show with another way to lose everybody. If Johnny Manziel were to fight again, I'm going to start giving you names of people he could fight. Would he win or lose? All right? Cade, you both of you guys, all right? You and Matthew. Vince Young.
Lose.
Win.
I don't know. Vince Young's got that reach.
Vince Young is a large individual.
Yeah, I don't know.
Older.
Tim Tebow. I think
Lose.
Tebow destroys him.
Yeah, Tebow.
And I love
Tebow's,
Johnny.
Tebow's in great shape.
Tebow's jacked still.
Yeah.
Okay. RG3. Johnny demolishes it.
When, RG3's knees are really not in great shape
He's
anymore.
not going to be able to rock at all. That's terrible.
Okay. Matt Leinart.
I think he wins. Matt Leinart is old.
He's not that old.
Kind of.
I haven't seen him.
He is 7 years older than Johnny. Wait a second. You thought I would win if I fought Johnny.
but David,
I'm sure Matt Leinert's still jacked.
David, you fight people.
I do not fight people. I go to a class and get humiliated
spar
and
people.
break my finger.
Yeah, but that's and while that's true, while you break your finger, I think would break Johnny Manziel's finger.
All right, Nick Young, Swaggy P, Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny.
Adrian Peterson, AP.
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah. Jake Paul.
Probably Jake Paul.
Jake Paul would destroy him. I love Johnny though. Dave Portnoy. I'm taking Johnny.
Johnny for sure.
Taking Johnny.
That would be a funny fight.
Thanks everybody. Sorry for losing it. If you're still listening, thank you. I guess we'll see you tomorrow.